Success. Look at me. I am a podcast engineer.
Not really.
Not really. Well, I need to get rid of this as well. I found this extendable back scratcher at Megan's makeup table, and I can't stop fooling around with it. I find myself on conference calls just like.
Do you put it at your chin like you're pondering?
I've been using it like a little beard comb. Yeah, it's some weird sort of little reptile hand.
That's weird.
I know, our mum and dad always do a random gift box for Christmas, just full of loads of random shite, and this came out of it.
Does it do a good?
I want one.
Yeah, it's excellent for scratching, right in between the shoulder blades. I don't know if you've noticed, Mike, but I'm really big right now because of the exercise I'm doing, so it's really good for Here he is.
Oh. Hey, what's happening, boys? How we doing?
How long have you been planning that wee spin entrance?
No, I haven't at all. I'm waiting for my Asda delivery to come, so it's all good.
How you doing? You all right, mate? You've been on the tins all day listening to your own music, yeah?
No, I haven't been on the tins. Just had a quick one there, but I've got a wee Asda delivery with 2 crates coming, so I'm going to get balls deep tonight. So, gonna have.
Well, I've decided this is the week that I drink every night, so there you go. Cheers, guys. This is a lovely wee orange and passion fruit gin from Lidl. Some nice Indian tonic water, so.
Sounds good.
Lovely.
Fidjit, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
Being locked in.
Yeah, just usual for me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Andy's been prepping for this for years.
Yeah.
Loving it.
It's actually quite nice, yeah.
I think the thing that surprised me the most is how much I've actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't like the choice being taken away. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's pretty nice.
Is it you literally, if you're working from home, once you're finished, you have no reason not to do the things you've been putting off for ages because you literally have hours.
Yeah.
There's no journey home. Yeah.
No.
None of that.
Which is shite. Oh yeah, which is shite because it means that you've no reason not to exercise. So if you're getting chunky, that's just on you for just sitting. So yeah.
There's a lot of exercise pressure happening, isn't there?
I know. I feel that's a personal attack, Jordan.
Don't, because I woke up this morning and went, nah, I don't fancy it, and never bothered today. And you want to know what, Mike? I'm happy. I've had a drink. I had pie and beans for my lunch. I've just tanned some Smarties chocolate, and I'm having pizza and chips for my tea as well. So,
happy days.
There's a guy that I work with. He on Instagram. He put a video, like a time-lapse video of him swinging around his kettlebell, and I actually commented on it. Oh, yeah, that looks interesting. I'm gonna try that. I'm not doing that shit.
I would definitely follow Mike's workout page and the 3 posts that he put up, followed by a 4th post 2 years later. That's the type of Instagram page I reckon Mike would have if it was a fitness one.
I probably should.
Sorry. Right, well, we get started because last week when we done this, we never actually done an intro, so it was literally just me, Mike, and Andy talking shite to each other for an hour.
That's pretty much sums up the podcast, though. So
yeah, that's just the only difference usually is I do the introduction. And let's see if I've still got it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an online lockdown edition of Perth's premier podcast, Monkey Sword Fight, with me, Jordan Patrick, my co-host, El Grande Nip, your boy Nip, Cons man.
The METBEN man.
Mikey
right,
Dots, also known as Words with Dots. You got one for us this week?
I do, yeah. Moving on doesn't mean you forget about things. It just means you have to accept what happened and continue living.
Yes.
Sorry, Mike. We need to, Mike's literally like that multi-million-pound striker who has a really good season and then goes for £40 million in the window and then scores twice in the whole season.
But they were 2 big goals, so it's fine.
We've also got Andreas Pirlo of Perthshire, the holding midfielder of the podcast. Andy, it's your old Andy Mac there.
What's happening?
Also joined by a very special lockdown guest. We have Fidjit with us. Hello, Fidjit.
Hello.
Hey.
Which was fantastic because it literally went from Mike yesterday saying, we should get someone on, ask Fidjit. So then I messaged you, and then you said yes. So this has all come together really, really well. So
Don't give them a behind-the-scenes look at how planet. Come on. Huh?
To be fair, man, it's what else does anyone have to do just now? Are you busy? No, I'm not. I'm not busy. I completed Netflix yesterday, so we're good to go. So do we have any housekeeping, Michael?
We do. This episode is still brought to you by Stevie Mac Skate School. So, of course, nobody can go out now. You can't do it now. Did you see, actually, in Los Angeles, they've had to put sand in the skate parks to keep people from going in there?
Can we just put a wall around most of America? Like, I can't believe I'm seeing people protesting a virus.
Hey, I was just about to say, have you seen the protesters?
With the masks on, by the way.
I genuinely, I was scrolling through Twitter today, and there was a picture of some protesters, and one of them just had a sign, and it just said, "Sacrifice the weak." That was a protester's sign in America today.
Well, I saw one that said, "Oh, my immune system has the right to work." It's mind blowing.
Oh.
And they're just standing there going, "Trump 2020." Like,
the thing is, these people may all catch it and just die off, which, you know,
it's a strong possibility. Yeah,
you got to speculate to accumulate. Do you know what I mean? So if we can just get these people filtering off, then the world might be a bit of a sounder place. Anyway, sorry, continue with your advert, Michael.
So you can't do it now, but if we do, they're going to start to phase things back in. So this is the perfect activity to do, and still practice social distancing, because you don't need to be next to each other to be skateboarding, right? You can still get yourself, or skateboards, or whatever you want to do on your bikes or on your rollerblades, whatever you want to do. You can still get that speed. Is it 2 meters you need to be?
Yeah.
You can still get that 2 meters, and Stevie Mac will give you the best knowledge he can provide while you're there. So reach out to him on Facebook, Stevie Mac Skate School, and tell him the Monkey Sword Fight guy sent you.
I was playing Call of Duty with Stevie Mac the other night.
Aye, how'd that go?
Carried him to his first dub. He's a happy boy.
I've still not quite got it yet. See, after talking about buying Call of Duty and beating Warzone and being really cool, do you know what I ended up downloading and playing online? Monopoly.
Oh, classic.
That was brilliant.
Another good one's Uno. Uno's brilliant to play on your computer.
Uno is so good. Do you play it online?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I played Uno online as a teenager once, and we ended up like speaking with some crazy neo-Nazis who had like a million pounds and all these weird like old German books and stuff.
Jesus Christ. The thing about Uno is
everyone's welcome in Uno.
Yeah.
Everyone.
There's no better feeling in Uno when you're sitting there holding that +4 card. Especially if someone puts one down first and you get them to pick up 8, and you just see the joy drain from their face.
So wait, this is what I was going to ask, because there's rules, and I went down a hole in on Reddit one day about Uno.
Dangerous.
But you can't put a +4 on a +2 or a draw 2. I mean,
that's some bullshit rule.
What is that? How you guys play?
See when you play it in the streets, Mike. When you play it in the streets, you know what I mean, there's no rules. You could be pick up 24, and then you got to pick up 24.
There are no rules.
I had to get rid of this. Sorry. Yeah. I've been playing with my claw.
How do you play? Do you play where you can put a draw 4 on top of a draw 2?
What? Are you talking to me?
I am, yes.
I have no recollection of how to play Uno. I don't even really remember what it looks like, except when there's a green and a red and a yellow thing, right? I don't know. I have no idea.
To be fair, it's one of those games you could probably pick it up in about 3 seconds anyway. So, yeah. It's like riding a bike. You never truly forget how to play Uno.
And you know what? It was the Führer's favorite game. Maybe that's why those Nazis were on.
How the fuck do you know what Adolf Hitler liked playing in his spare time?
Who doesn't?
I can imagine Hitler would have been a nightmare at Monopoly. Anyway.
That's enough Hitler for this episode.
See, when we're talking about Stevie Mac's thing, I think the problem with the lockdown is it's given me far too much time to think. So I've now come out of this convinced that I could definitely start skateboarding and playing American football again when I know full well those capabilities are well past me now. Like,
that's what lockdown's all about.
I went the other night and sat with a wee man. I bought him all these stickers for Christmas. No, he got them from Santa Claus, sorry. And there was loads of them left over, so me and him sat the other night and just put loads of comic book stickers all over my bass guitar. So I now have a 15-year-old's bass guitar again. Because again, I'm convinced that I am young because of all this free time that I have.
You are young, Jordan.
Thanks, Mike. So, do we have any feedback from last week's episodes? Did you check? Did anyone check?
No.
We're a real Mickey Mouse operation.
I'm only home all day. How am I going to check? Yeah, we did have a bit of feedback. Oh, actually, we'll talk about the AMAs we did. The Ask Me.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
I guess I'll start with that. I'm not going to lie. It was a little slow. The uptake was a little slow.
That was.
If I get a goose egg on this, I'm going fucking crazy.
I said that. See what I said? I was the last one to do it, and I was like, if no one asks me a question, I'll never be able to show my face in front of these boys again because they both got rakes of questions. And the fact is, as well, my mum asked Andy a question before she asked me one too.
Ah. Well, she likes it, so we know that. We know why. There was some feedback on last week's episode. Jay West put it's gyro. The G is silent, motherfucker. What was that? What were we talking about?
Oh yeah, I was talking about the Greek food that I've been eating, and I must have said gyros. So is it gyros?
Oh, it's gyro. It's gyro.
A gyro. I had some of them Greek gyros the other night. They're fucking delicious.
That's what they say in Greece, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Anything else?
Also put good stuff again. Definitely be down for some video poker. Seen an app called Poker Face, so we can get on that.
Lovely. Ideal.
You won't.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was the only feedback that we had from. Oh no, we did have the caption contest that we put on there. There's a photo of me laughing hysterically, you holding up some hand sanitizer, and Andy Mack kind of with this sheepish grin on his face. I just drooled on myself. Hope you didn't see that. Ian Shepard put the 3 stages of a male wank: Jordan free rank, Andy mid-stroke, and Mike Dott's money shot. They're all kind of masturbation related. So
just a bunch of wankers. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Well,
back to
swiftly from that.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say back to the Ask Me Anythings. What was your feedback on the Ask Me Anythings? How'd you like it?
That was a good laugh. I genuinely realised very quickly that I hate speaking while recording myself. And any of the video responses I took, like Fidjit, you do a lot of the questions on Instagram, and I took your tact of just having a photo in the background because
I don't think I've ever done like a video response. I always just put like a little picture.
See, I was quite lazy, and I just put my finger over the camera and then took a photo of the blackness.
Every time I do it all the time, switch it to black. Yeah.
Yep, easy. What about you, Andy? Do you enjoy yourself? You seem like you had a blast.
Do you enjoy yourself? No, but I took the approach of like doing videos because it's like, why not? Like I don't like what I've always said to you. Like for me, it's like I come across person to person. Like messages isn't really my thing. It's like it's kind of got to be delivered face to face. I think for me sometimes the way I say stuff. So I went with the video approach and I really enjoyed it. Even though my Instagram was fucked up, and I was like, "There's no responses." And I was like, "Why am I not seeing anything?" And then I had to like restart my phone and everything. I was like, "Oh, there's like a ton of notifications because I had a software update." I was like, "Great!" I'm like, "Fucking put it up 5 hours ago, and I'm only replying to shit at 1 o'clock in the morning." But that's why I extended it for 24 hours. I was having that much fun. So
yeah, I feel like Andy went from 0 to 60 in like a minute. It was like. Oh, yeah, I don't really want to do this. And he's like, I'm extending it by another 24 hours so you can talk.
Mike, I was laughing because I was looking back at them on my own account when I was looking at the story. And I was like, all you can hear in the back is Call of Duty and the ghoulie and that booting off. I was like, he's obviously taking a break in between games to sit and answer a couple of questions, play a couple of games and do it again. So, man, I had a lot of fun with that. It was good fun.
We got absolutely put to shame. I just recently, Fidjit, you did one about what people are reading in the lockdown, And you even had to go to the part where you had to send just pages of your replies, because I was just like, nah, we literally got about 8 questions.
Like no one wants to sit there and like flip through all of them all at the same time. But
Yeah.
sometimes I think it's such a hit or miss thing. Sometimes you get a load, sometimes you don't.
I'd imagine there'd be quite a lot of social media engagement just now because people are in the house.
It's really weird. I think like there's a lot of engagement with stuff like that. I think you know it's fun to like find out what other people are doing as well, and they like to answer things like that, so they want to tell you what they're doing whilst they're in lockdown. But followers and things like that, everyone's followers are just like dropping off.
I suppose because I've even found myself doing it. Have you ever done that where you're flicking through your Instagram and someone that you might have followed 2 years ago that you're not really interested in anymore, and you go, "Come on, I'll just take them off my timeline."
Yeah.
Because people, I think everyone's getting depressed when their screen report time comes up just now.
Oh yeah, I've look at mine.
Just flick it off straight away. Like, no, don't need that.
It off, actually.
What else have you been doing during lockdown then, Fidjit, to keep yourself amused?
I've been trying to be productive as possible. I've been trying to have like a bit of a routine.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to train a lot. I do a lot of training at the moment.
Is it still your ballet that you're doing?
Yeah. I do ballet in the morning, like more like classic ballet in the morning, and then got a personal trainer who's like an ex-ballerina, so she does like high intensity circuit training kind of stuff, but with like ballet based.
So like functional exercises, yeah.
It's like at the moment I'm doing like strength and cardio. Mm-hmm. She's insane. Like she tries to kill me every time. Amazing. It's so good. I've been doing a lot of that. I've been doing like, obviously, because I'm self-employed as well, like there's no income at all, so I've been doing commissions and stuff like that, which is really good. A lot of people, I've got a big list of commissions that I'm working through at the moment, which has been so helpful. So like I've just asked, you know, people just send me requests for paintings that they want me to paint them. So I like work to any budget, especially like now, because you know people don't have, you know, people are in the same boat. So they just tell me how much they can afford to pay for one, and then they kind of give me like a rough idea of what they want me to paint, and then I get it done. Yeah.
Nice.
Loads of fun as well. I really like seeing like what ideas people come up with, what they want to get done.
Like it must be good as well, because especially if I imagine it can be quite hard sometimes for a creative person. Like Andy spoke about this before, that like if you're not feeling creative, or if you're maybe getting a bit of writer's block, so to actually have that, this is what you need to draw, and then you can actually start putting your own spin on it, must be quite good.
Yeah, it's so good, because you do get points. I can go for like weeks without drawing something, and then I can go for weeks having so many ideas all the time and like coming up with all this stuff and getting it all out, and then it can just disappear. It's so frustrating when it does disappear, but it does happen all the time. I think you just have to like be like, yep, that's just what happens, and then just don't do it for a while. Do stuff like this whenever it feels like that, because that's obviously so good. Then other people's ideas as well then start feeding into your brain, so then you like, you know, you can go off then and you start getting more ideas of your own again. It's really frustrating when that happens. So.
Well, the thing as well, just for anyone that's following our own Andy Mack's Instagram, he recently dug up a 10-year-old hard drive and found a load of old bangers that he's been sitting on this afternoon that sound amazing. Do you ever do that with like old drawings of things that ideas that you maybe thought, nah, I don't fancy that, come across it years later and then end up like taking it a bit further?
All the time. I redraw some stuff. I've actually in lockdown I've redrawn like 3 things that I had drawn years ago that I didn't really like then, but then I kind of decided I do like the idea, so I redrew them. But I feel like when you look at your old stuff sometimes as well, I feel like I used to have better ideas than I do now. And again, I know that like in a couple of years or whatever, I'll look at what I'm doing now and I think the same thing. I think it's the same as like with what you look like, right? Like you look at old photos of yourself, not all the time, but sometimes you look at old photos of yourself and you're like, why have I let myself go or whatever, or like I actually look kind of all right and now I've done this or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's a similar thing. But just a slight tangent. I was just thinking about this the other day. I was watching a video and it's this YouTuber I follow, and they do like old movies, and their Patreon followers voted on the movie they had to watch and review, and it was the Scooby-Doo live action one from like
the year 2001. And I remember being in 2001 thinking, everyone looks cool. This is great. Clothes are perfect right now. And then when you look at clothes now, and then you look at the early 2000s, you're like, what the fuck? Why has everyone got their hair so twisted and spiky? What's that look all about?
Right? That is exactly what happens. So now when we're all thinking that, and we're all thinking, oh, we look all right or whatever, or we've done like, this is how you dress and how you do your hair. In like 10 years, will we look at now and think the same?
Yeah.
Because really it's quite polished now. Everyone's pretty polished nowadays.
Well, that's the thing, as well as that, even when they bring back the retro stuff, like I just recently bought a Celtic top from 1988, and it looks really smart now.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the original, you can tell that isn't how it looks, but they've taken that idea and they've streamlined it a bit. So now it looks like the retro top is like modern, but doesn't it? Like the original one looked old as fuck. And
same with like films and stuff as well. I think films always look really good at the time, and then you look at them even a few years later and you're like, it looks awful. At the time you thought it was great. I've got an example of that for watching and listening to later, so I'll make a note of that while I'll still remember. So
I look back on everyone having these ridiculous beards that are like down to their navel, and we're gonna be like, oh, what was going on at that point? Why did we do that?
Nothing good, yeah.
I genuinely, I've gotten past it now, but lockdown had me this close to shaving my beard off. Literally this close, and then I got past it. I was like, nah, that went terribly for everyone last time. Man, the thing is, you've got a nice shaped head, right? So you can get away without the beard. See, when I've not got a beard, I look like the fattest baby you've ever seen. Like,
you look like Ralph Cramden from The Honeymooners. You ever watch The Honeymooners?
No.
Oh, okay, well, I'll put a picture on the Facebook.
I like to think I look like George Clooney's ugly brother. Like, especially in that there's a photo that was like, when I first got the shave done at Badlands, somebody put the age filter on it, and it's giving me like grey hair, and I look like a really bad George Clooney lookalike. So I'll post that one if I can find it. So I was talking as well, Fidjit. You've done another Drowning Girl Flash Day.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, one of the better hangovers of my life. Yeah.
Making friends left, right, and centre.
Oh yeah, we had a great group. I think I talked about it on the podcast, but like it was quite cool to actually be there because how many of them have you done now?
About 2,500 something in that area. It's mental.
And like how many of the Flash Days have you done for them?
Oh, the Flash Days. So I've done 3 Drowning Girl Flash Days, and then I've done 2 Flash Days before then. But they included stuff other than that. So like specific ones for Miss M and for the End Not Proven. 3 so far.
It was amazing. I think I probably owe you an apology because I completely underestimated how many people would show up. Because we got through at midday, booked ourselves on the 7 o'clock bus home, and we ended up getting the 11:30 bus home.
Yeah.
And like it was such a good day, and I could see the smile on your face by the end of it. I mean, you looked exhausted, but you looked buzzing.
So good, yeah. It's like it's really cathartic feeling, like doing all that, because it's physical as well. Like standing in the same position for however many hours all day, because you see as well, there's like no break at all.
Yeah.
I feel like with stuff like that, if you take a break, you lose your momentum, and then you'll not want to like go back and carry on and finish it, and it just makes it would take a lot longer as well. So I think powering through is the way to go.
It was crazy. So like I say, we arrived about maybe 11:30 midday, and there was already a fair decent queue out the shop. And then as the time, I think it got to maybe like 4 o'clock or something, and Brewer, who I think listens, hi Brewer, if you're listening, one of the Rangers fans listeners, but we'll forgive him for that. He came out and was just sort of counting heads, because it got to the point where you only had a finite amount of needles left in the shop, I'm sure.
Yeah. We had a certain amount of needles, and then I think it was quite early on in the day. There was so many people just kept turning up. We had to, you had to go outside.
Go out, yeah.
Like make a cut-off point and be like, we'll have to do. We're gonna do more days, so there are Flash Days. I think we were talking about like putting a cap on it next time. 50 people per Flash Day or something like that. Just because it does get so crazy, and it's really tiring. And like Brewer is in the same boat too. Like he's there working all day. So yeah, maybe like 50 or something is a good amount.
But like, just for the lads, when you see it in happening in person, like say Fidjit sat for, was it started at what, 11?
Started at 11 because there's a few people. So if anyone's like unable to queue or whatever for they've got any like physical problems or whatever, and they can't stand in the queue all day, they come in before. So they come in at like, people start getting tattooed at about 11, and then officially open at 12, and then it's just however long it takes after that.
It wasn't until I sat and seen you, and it was like, because that the gun in your hand, that must just be painful.
It's vibrating, so it's your hand numb. And the main thing is my elbow, actually. Just from doing, it's like tennis elbows, like from doing the same movement over and over again. And obviously, because it's the same design over and over again, I do it in exactly the same way every time. Each line is the same every time, so it's like repetitive strain. So it's really painful, like towards the end of the day. And then, like, I always take like a few days off afterwards so that I'm not, because you have to be careful about stuff like that with tattooing. There's a lot of tattooers have to take like loads of time off or whatever, because they end up getting like a proper bad in their elbow or their wrist. And I don't want that to happen.
And it was like 12, it was like 11, 12 hours you were on the go for?
We finished, I think we finished it after midnight. We finished it like 12 or something, I think, this time. But yeah, it was. I felt slightly physically better this time than I did last. I remember having a really, really awful headache that lasted for a couple of days. I didn't drink anything last time though.
That's fair.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you have like a go-to snack or drink to kind of get you through those long days?
I don't eat anything. I'll maybe have like a donut at the start. People bring donuts and stuff, and I always buy a load of donuts. Actually, Tantrum Donuts in Glasgow like donated a couple of boxes for us for the queue, because I always make sure there's always like snacks and food and stuff there for people waiting, because you don't want people not to eat and then get tattooed and then faint or whatever as well. So I usually steal one of the donuts, and then that's it. I don't eat for the rest of the day. And I didn't drink the last time either, but so I made sure that I drank some water, not enough, but I had some water like in between to keep me going, and it did help. I didn't feel quite as bad, but
it was honestly, like I said, I showed up hanging out my arse, and then like I say, the general atmosphere was just brilliant. Like everyone was having a buzz, and then like we made friends. Like the people in front and behind us have all ended up swapping details and that, and I chat to one of them quite a lot, and then. Like as we were walking out, there's a group of people had hunched on the floor and they were all watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine on someone's laptop, but they'd never actually met before.
It's so cool. I love how friendly everybody is. Everyone's here because everyone fully supports the cause. So everyone's got things in common. Everyone's got something, you know, that they're together with, and they're just like, it's the best thing, like, to hear everybody having a good time whilst they're waiting. Because obviously as well, when there's such a long queue, you kind of worry that, will people stay in the queue because they have to stand there for hours and hours until they get into the seating. But it's so good to, like, hear everyone making friends. And, like, you had, like, 1 billion friends by the end of it. People were, like, teaching each other yoga classes and stuff like that in the middle of the floor. And, like, there
was impromptu sing-alongs and everything. It was fucking fantastic.
It's so... Yeah.
My favourite part was at one point, Hit Me Baby One More Time came out, and me and Fidjit used to send each other videos of us singing that to each other years ago for a laugh. And she just came bolting through from the room, gave me a big thumbs up, and then fucked off back out of the room again.
Fidjit, if you have any of those videos, please share with us of Jordan singing that.
You know, I actually might.
Whoa, eh? Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll talk after.
I think this is another thing, just going back to what we're doing in lockdown. I've started looking through old video. I've got a really old camcorder and like a bunch of little tapes and stuff, and I'm pretty sure that I have video of you.
You need to, if you can dig that out. I want to screen that before it goes anywhere near either of these two.
So what's like your daily routine? I know you said that you got your workouts going. What, like, take us through like your entire day, like time you wake up and.
I get up kind of like at 10, half 10, and then I go through and do a bit of ballet, and then I eat some porridge, and then I get back into bed and I watch The Simpsons for like a couple of hours or an hour.
Oh, love it.
Nice.
Go through and do the drawing, like do drawing and painting, and then I do second lot of training, which takes like an hour, and then I make dinner after that, and then I go back to bed.
That's a solid routine.
That is a solid routine. If you can get up at 10:30 if you're exercising twice a day. There you go.
Yeah. There are days obviously where you just like can't be arsed at all, but I've surprised myself because I'm not good at getting up in the morning. Not good at all. But
I don't know if you agree, but I think as well as that, it is excellent to have a routine. See, if there are those days where you are feeling just like you can't be arsed, you have to just do them sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Especially with the way things are just now. See, if you're having a shitty day, have a shitty day.
Yeah, absolutely. If also, I feel like, see, with exercise and stuff, a lot of the time, whenever you get a day where you're like, I really don't want to exercise today because I feel like shit or whatever, I think that's probably the most important day to do it on. And you feel so much better after you've done it. Like mentally, for me, it really, really helps my mind a lot. So if I feel miserable or whatever, if I go and do it afterwards, it always it's like guaranteed to make me feel so much better.
I've noticed as well. I don't know if anyone's like, you don't even have to do like your full workout. See, if you were going to do fuck all and then you wrap out like 20 push-ups and that's it, you immediately feel just a wee bit better and a little bit less like
something softer for the day or whatever. But as long as you're actually moving, I feel like moving your body is like really, really important.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, that's why I always make sure once it hits. The last couple of days have been a little ropey, but I try and get around 5 o'clock. Laptop closes, and I'm out the door, and I'm moving around. And by the time I get like halfway through that walk, I'm like, oh, this is especially now that the sun's been out too.
Yeah,
it totally makes your day.
I think, Mike, you'll be like me as well, like, because sort of our type of work, it's quite easy to just stick it out. Like, I noticed myself at the start, a couple of days working till, do you know what I mean, after 6, because I'd been in the house all day and I was already on a roll. But I think now as you get further, I'm really sticking to the fact that I start at 8, I finish at 4:30. That's it.
You know what doesn't help either? The fact that other people, and for their own reasons, and it's fine, they'll change their shift pattern. So they may work 10 until 7, which is cool. That's what you want to do. But then I see that email as I'm about to log off at 5 o'clock. They got another 2 hours to go, but I'm done. And I'm like, oh, let me just bang this one email out. And then that leads to a chain of emails and I'm doing something else. And it's like, no, you have to close that laptop and get out of the house.
Especially, well, man, if you've got the girls, I mean, you've got to try and keep their schoolwork done. Because I'm quite lucky. Megan's there, so because she's furloughed, she's been, when the wee man's here during school time, she does his schoolwork with him. So, do you know what I mean? It's handy, but there's a lot of people out there that'll be fucking struggling, because if I was by myself, I'd be gubbed. Yeah, absolutely gubbed. Because
I'm working on getting Connie fired so she can just work with help with the girls.
Oh, also just want to say, I just completely remembered as well, can we say that since Fidjit was last on the show, she's gotten married as well, so there you go.
Hey, congratulations!
Congratulations!
Which I remember as well, because I just popped it in my head earlier. I remember you saying that on the last episode. She goes, "You went, I'd like to be married."
Yeah,
did.
I'm 30, right? I'm 30 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Beat the clock.
See, if we were doing this like live and Andy was recording it, we could have asked him to go back, chop out the soundbite, and then edit.
I need to go, boys. I'll see you in a bit. I'll be back.
Is that your shopping?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we were recording this, we could have got Andy to do like a little dream noise.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be married before I'm 30. I'd like to be married. But anyway, congratulations to you and Jack, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations to you and Jack.
Married on the street, yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah, it's so good. We've known each other for a long time, but like there's like a whole story. There's a whole story. Like we met like 8 years ago, and then there was like a lies that led to not talking anymore, and then discovering that they were lies and getting back in touch.
Are you telling us it's a modern day love story? That's what you're telling us. This is the rom-com that I want to watch. But I don't know if you guys will agree. Like a lot of people are saying, like, imagine being locked down with your other half for ages, and I was just like, I've genuinely, we've had a great time.
Me too.
So much fun. We've just, like I love that it's like every day is like the day off where you just get to hang out and do whatever together. I feel really sad for people who are like, oh,
Yeah.
why are you with them?
Well, yeah. Yeah, like we've gotten to the point where we've figured out we have a 3-person sofa in our living room.
Yeah.
And it should not be able to have two. Well, I'm 6'2", Megan's 5'10", but we've figured out a way that we can both lie flat, top and tail on this sofa. Genuinely. I'd love to try and describe it to you, but the only way I can think about it looks kind of pornographic, so I'm not going to. But that's
Whoa.
it. That's it. That's how it works.
Hey,
And we
it
both
gets you
fit
on
on this. Honestly, it's ingenious. And then, I don't know if anyone's seen my Instagram the other day, we made a couch bed, and we pushed both of our couches together, and we just spent the entire day under a duvet watching the TV, and it was easily one of the greatest days of my life.
So good. Like, it's so good when you find someone like that as well. I feel really sad for people who are like, or people who don't even know now that they're suddenly like stuck and locked with the person, they're like finding out all this stuff. The other person like, ugh.
I don't know if anyone else agree.
I can't be here.
I think we've all been in relationships that have went on a little bit too long. So I think as well, you get to a certain point where you're like, right, this is exactly what I don't want. So fuck off. This is what I'm looking for. And then, you know what I mean? So I think it's experience that I think comes with age.
It's okay to say for anyone who's watching this who is like, oh shit, I may be in one of those relationships. Because there was a point where Connie and I were looking at each other kind of like, all right, maybe we need a day or so to not kill each other. But then within like 5 hours, we were like, hey, we're going to something to eat. And they were like, yeah, let's go mix up. We're in the kitchen.
I think, yeah, we've had a couple of minutes where we've maybe been a bit snappy, but then it's never been anything more than that. And then we both have enough independence. Like, if she wants to sit and play the Xbox because she's been playing that Witcher. Like, if she wants to do that, I'll quite happily come through here and read my book. Like, that's the point. Even if you're in the same house, you can't be each other's back pockets.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Anyway, that's nice. So yeah, again, just congratulations.
Thank you, and you got engaged as well.
I did, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I think me and Megan are actually booked in with Fidjit for some more tattoos in August.
I can't wait to do the chest piece.
Oh, I'm very excited.
She's thinking about like to cover the.
Yeah, so Megan wants to get. I'm sure she wants to get a Jane Austen themed, another drowning girl.
Drowning girl.
Yeah. She's now. She went like, she goes, what should I get a tattoo of? And I was like, what do you like? She was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm not going to be any help. I'm going to be absolutely zero help in this situation.
People give me shit for that too. They're like, what do you want? I want to get a tattoo, but I don't know. Like, how do you not know? It's like, well, I don't know what I want on my body for the rest of my life. That's what I don't know. I know I like a lot of things. I just may not.
It's hard sometimes when you know you want one, but you just can't think of what. That's why Flash is good.
Mm-hmm.
You just like look through and just pick something.
Well, this literally, so we went from, I was chatting to Fidjit the other day, so I'd asked her to do a tattoo on my other calf. And then we were sort of messaging about it, and I was like, I also want to get a cover up on the script I've got on my chest. Mm-hmm. And then we just started discussing it. I was like, Joe, sort of, could we hook that up? And she's like, yeah, cool. And then I sent her this design. I was like, I'd like something like this, if you could put your spin on it. She goes, yeah, let's just do that in August. So I went from getting a calf tattoo to a full chest piece in about 3 messages, I think.
I'm excited though. It's going to be cool.
I'm very excited. I'm so excited. I'm also just excited to be out of my house, even if it is having someone drilling a needle into my chest for 4 hours. So pumped.
Do you remember how it was when you got the script there?
That actually, of all of them, apart from that, so you did this one, and that was the only bit that was nippy on was the sides, but this was the least pain I've ever felt with a tattoo. Like, it nipped, but after a while, I think because it was right on the bone, it just kind of started getting a bit massagey after a while. Like, my body went numb and I just started dozing off a little bit.
I've never heard anyone say that about getting tattooed on the bone.
I don't think anyone, nothing can be worse than the rib cage.
Yeah.
Like, this is, so I think everyone's seen this tattoo. So Fidjit done this one, and then I got my drowning girl on the other rib cage, and after sitting for 2 hours getting the big one done, see the 5 minutes it took to do the drowning girl? I have no idea how I made it through the big one at all.
It's the worst place. Like, I have my whole stomach done, but it's just lines, and I'm getting it covered, so I have to have the whole thing redone, and I'm actually dreading it because I was 19 when I had it done, so that's like 10 years ago, and I still fully remember exactly what that felt like. It's gross. That's very good that you sat for the whole 3 hours, especially because that was like right at the beginning when I didn't really know what I was doing either, so it probably hurt away a lot more than it.
Well, the thing is as well, it even got to the point where I was thinking about asking for a break halfway through the Drowning Girl. That's how much my pain resilience has went way down.
Well, how long was it though?
The Drowning Girl.
3 minutes, like
3 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's actually okay. You said I thought you were just joking. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. He's like, hold on.
Come on. You know as well, what was it?
Yeah, I got one on my rib on this side that's literally like little words, literally that size. I got it about a year ago, and it's the first thing I've had on my torso since being 19. And the same, I was like, oh, just no. It's
brutal.
Such
Absolutely brutal. Anyway, like I said, that was my own stupid fault for saying, yeah, this will be my second tattoo. Do it on my rib cage. This will be a fucking great idea. Hi, dear.
Hello.
Sorry. Say hello.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, is that
Yeah,
it?
thank
You need
you.
to
Yeah, that was on
drink.
me. Thank you. I texted her to see if she'd bring me more gin, and she did. She's a good egg. I don't want to get up in the middle. So, have you got any other tips that you would give to people who are also in lockdown, Fidjit, that you think might, like things that you've found useful?
I don't know really. I think I feel like although like time has been stolen from you and everything, right? You've also actually really gained time. Like at the very beginning, I kind of freaked out about it, or I didn't freak out about that. So I was freaking out about the actual coronavirus thing. I mean, like I'm a total hypochondriac and a germaphobe anyway. So I was like massively freaking out over that, and I was worrying about my parents getting it and all this kind of stuff. And then I feel like the more it's gone on, I'm like, right, well, I get it's a really difficult time for your mental health because you're spending a lot of time with yourself and you're just inside, and you know things can get really stale and whatever. But I think that it's really good. It's good for that if you do something with the time, like make most of your time. Like don't let the time go to waste. Again, like if you have a bad day or whatever, and I've had many days since lockdown where I've done nothing all day, or I've like woken up and my mind has just been absolutely awful, and I've just spent the whole day in bed watching films or whatever, and that's totally cool. You need to have days like that too, but I'm trying not to. I feel like it's like you've got loads of time to do all this stuff that you would never have time to do. So probably my advice would probably just be to try and make the most of the time that you've got. Like do something, even if you like just one little thing a day or something. You know, like, well pleased with yourself.
I think it's easy as well. I think it's learning then the days that you're just going to, okay, what, I'm not going to try and fight through it. I'm just going to lie in my bed and chill out. And then the days where you think, I could probably just fucking do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, it's like I think as well. Like I feel like all this. I think just ignore social media. But I'd say that all the time anyway. It's bullshit, and all this like people, all this pressure to be like, you must. Oh, I'm learning 6 languages whilst I'm in here or whatever. It's like it's not about that. It's like I say, like use the time to do stuff that you like doing. But there's I hate the fact there's all this like, you know, who's done the most during lockdown, or who's going to be like some new person.
You don't know another language, or you haven't started your own business because you have the time to do so now.
That's the thing, is that some people might like if exercising and doing that is brilliant, do that. But see if the thing you want to use your time for is catching up on all 18 programs that your friends have been telling you about for the last decade, fucking do that as well.
Yeah.
I might actually watch The Sopranos. Who knows? I might actually get round to it.
Yeah, it's probably just how you want to use your time. It's really weird. Like, it's a really weird time to have mental health problems, I think, as well. A really weird time, because it's almost like it depends what that is, but I feel like I worry all the time anyway, and I have a lot of problems focusing around germs and stuff like that. So I feel like I've kind of been prepared for a really, really long You're really good at doing stuff like so.
Is it wash your hands like a fucking pro? Just
Wash my hands like that anyway.
yeah.
Obviously now a lot more than I was, but I wash my hands a lot anyway. I carry I never go anywhere without antibacterial hand gel, which I did have to because obviously couldn't get it. Stuff like that freaks me out. Like not being able to get it. I need that all the time anyway. And then it disappeared, and I was like, but I actually I use that all the time.
This isn't fair.
I'm grandfathered in. I should get it.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's like it's weird, but yeah, I've been cooking a lot, trying to cook a lot because I've got loads of food problems and stuff like that, and I've been trying to cook, and it's actually really helped. Like having the choice taken away. Normally, like I just go somewhere I trust, and just then the food just appears. I don't have to think about how it was made or whatever. Whereas now you don't have that choice, so you have to make your own food. It's made me like have to figure some stuff out, but it's actually been really good for the most part.
Well, I think that's what's surprising me is that, especially like, see, for one thing, I'm absolutely terrible with money. Like, if I have money, I will just spend it, and that's evident from my financial situation. But like, I've actually been forced to sit and look at my spending and say, right, I don't need this. I could save this away. So if one good thing comes out of this, I might be one of the lucky ones, and I understand I'm one of the lucky ones to actually come out of this a little bit more financially stable than when I went in.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not the same for everyone. Like, that's unreal, but like it's like you say, it's trying to find little good things that you can do.
Yeah.
Like, I could just say, come on, actually, the internet's still there, and I'll spunk all my money on a dartboard, 4 new pairs of trainers, and a couple of books.
So
I was this close to buying trainers. Like I said, I treated myself to a hat, because I'm not bothering gelling my hair, because why? But it's been like 18 degrees, and I'm sitting out in the back garden, like, boiling, because if I take this off, like, my hair's like...
Yeah.
Oh my.
You know what I mean?
Like a Scott.
And plus I'm embarrassed, because my skin fade has now completely disappeared. It's like... I don't think my hair's been this long at the sides since I was actually trying to grow it in as a teenager. And you have to get past that really shitty stage where it won't go past your ears.
I think hairdressers and barbers are going to have a field day after.
I don't get why people are shaving their heads. I don't understand it.
They were doing it like a day in.
Yeah, I was like,
oh my God. I think some people got like cabin fever really, really quickly.
Yeah. Well, saying that, like, I did, however, message my niece who's a hairdresser saying, how do I bleach my hair? And then she messaged me back. She just messaged me back saying, no.
Don't do it.
Why do you bleach your hair?
Why the fuck not? You know what? I'm dying for a bit of grey. I really want a bit of salt and pepper up in here.
You know what I want to do? I want the Hollywood Hogan thing. I want to have a blonde mustache and like the rest of my facial hair be black. Hollywood Hogan.
I just finished watching a documentary on the Attitude Era of WWE the other day, and it was fucking fantastic.
Speaking of watching.
Hey, what have you been watching or listening to this week? We can't do the theme tune, so I've been singing them every week. But I've been doing that regardless anyway. You doing, Andy? Shopping all right?
Yeah, good shopping, yeah.
Any substitutes of that now?
A couple. But they're acceptable substitutes. I'm happy with them.
Fidjit's asking, did you wash your...
What was that?
Did you wash your package?
Excuse me?
Personal question.
Did you wash your shopping?
What do you mean wash it? Like all like...
Get a wipe.
Nah.
I actually didn't know. I'm assuming the people that put it in the bags have got gloves on, haven't they?
Yeah, but do they wear their gloves correctly?
I've not got time for washing my Dairy cheese triangle boys and girls. I don't have time for that. I want to get eating them. What's cracking here? What have I missed?
Right, we've just jumped into watching and listening to, so we can keep this under an hour for you, Andy.
Oh, perfect. Thanks.
I'll jump in. So I stupidly watched Contagion, the film about the pandemic virus.
What's that, eh?
I had to cut it off.
How does it end?
Pardon?
How does it end?
So,
I didn't watch it.
right, spoilers. So they come up with a vaccine eventually, but what they do is, so the vaccine only works if you've never actually got the virus. So what they do to determine who gets the vaccine, so if you haven't had it, you get the vaccine, you won't catch it.
Yeah.
So what they do in America to determine who gets the vaccine when is they do a birthday draft like they did in Vietnam. So like people born on the 6th of May get it up first, and then like so they do it across a whole year. So it was fucking mad, but like just to see how quickly it spread, and then the very ending of the film is like it shows you exactly how the virus came into being. And how it started with fucking Gwyneth Paltrow. I knew you can't trust Gwyneth Paltrow.
Wasn't she? She was cheating on her husband with some other guy, wasn't she?
Either that or she was doing some weird stuff with some soap. But let's not get into that. That's her business.
It was a candle, wasn't it?
Can we name this episode "Don't Trust Gwyneth Paltrow"? I'm going to take that as a yes. I've been watching The Witcher on Netflix with what's his name? Superman, Henry Cavill. I've got some very confused feelings about Henry Cavill now.
Why?
God, man's an absolute Adonis. Have you seen him? He's just like he's fucking huge. So but no, anyway. Apart from me frothing at the mouth over Henry Cavill, really well written. Like dialogue's really good. Henry Cavill's really good in it. I'm halfway through the last episode, so I feel like I'm qualified enough to give it a scoring. So I'm going to give that a 7.5 bananas. But I think as more series comes out, it could be really good. I finished the book The Dead Man's Trousers by Irvin Welsh. So it's like the last book in the Trainspotting series. Brilliant. I absolutely adore that man's writing. So that gets a 9 bananas from me. But you'll be hard pushed to find a book of his that would get anything less than that. And that's about it just now. I've started reading Dante's Inferno, so that'll take me about 4 years to get through.
What made you read that?
Oh, I've always been interested by it, and then I watched a shitty horror film on Netflix called As Above, So Below, and it's about a group, like a camera crew who go to try and find the Philosopher's Stone and get the elixir of life, but it's like in the catacombs under Paris, and the deeper they descend, it's meant to be like the 7 circles of hell. And I've always found it really interesting. I was just like, I've got lots of time, so I ordered it and I've started reading it.
Yeah.
But like, it's like 12th century Italian that's been translated into English over like 50 years. Yeah. So it's a fucking heavy read. So that's been good. Well, I say that's been good. That's been frying my brain a little bit. That's about it. Finished Grand Theft Auto. And other than that, this gin gets a strong 7 from me. So who would like to go next? Anyone? Fidjit, what have you been watching and listening to?
60 Days In.
Pardon?
I've been watching 60 Days In, which is gold. It's an American reality TV show where people get sent to prison, or they voluntarily put themselves in prison. But it's legit. Like they sign a thing. They're an inmate. Like they can't. They don't get any privileges, or anything like that. And it's like supposed to be so that they can be insiders and they can like tell people what's wrong with the system and what's not working and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. But it's good.
That sounds excellent. Where's that?
Have a password to get out.
They do this.
Oh, okay. All right.
We producers see them and they like take them out and they question them and then they either go back in or they leave. But they like they get beaten up and stuff. It's like they're like inmates. It's good. But there's the only problem is that you can only get season 1 and season 5 or something like that, I think.
All right. Whereabouts do you watch it?
Well, the first one was on Netflix. Season 1 is on Netflix.
Okay.
Season 5, I can't even remember where we found it on some website, and then the rest of them don't work, which is so annoying because it was so good, and there's so many seasons of it, and I want to see them all. The 5th, I think it was the 5th season that I saw, but it was insane. There was a woman in it. There's a men's and women's sections, and they show you like both of them. And there was a woman in it who just went like full on inmate and had like. Had her birthday in there and they threw her this big party and they were all strippers and like they made her this like this stuff called Whip It, which is where they take all the prescription drugs and they like put them in this cup. I can't remember how they mix it, but they mix it with something and they like take it as a shot. And she was like shotting all these whippets, and like she had all these other inmates like stripping on her and everything. It was mental.
Jesus Christ.
Good.
Might have to check this out.
I remember you saying last time you were quite into prison stuff, weren't you?
Yeah.
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 What would you give it out of 10 bananas?
I'll give it a 9 because I'm upset that you can't get it anywhere. Yeah. And
So you got anything else?
I haven't read anything in a week or so. I started reading Papillon, but it was like it was too.
It's quite a heavy book, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I couldn't be arsed at the moment. I wanted something like a bit easier.
I don't know about you. I don't know about anyone on the call. I'm quite hard to please when it comes to reading. Like if I'm not invested within a couple of chapters, I find it really hard to like slog it out through a book.
Same, yeah.
What about you, Mike? You same? No, you just read anything?
No, I normally. I'll admit I'm not a huge reader. I only read books that people will recommend, or I know that are going to be good. So I'm not going to say, oh yeah, that looks alright. Maybe I'll just go read it. Just based off a description on the internet. I'll know what the book's about before I buy it and read it.
What about you, Andy?
I tend to read more like technical and academic documents, that kind of thing. Yeah.
You soak that sort of stuff up, eh?
Yeah, but I guess that's maybe different because obviously I have like something that's got quite a high creative output. So a lot of my time is spent doing that rather than absorbing others' creativity, but a lot of that I'm absorbing comes from the sort of field that I'm in. If that makes sense, it doesn't leave a huge amount of time. That's why I don't watch a huge amount of TV. I don't watch a huge amount of movies, if any at all. It's like I literally don't have time, So yeah.
Have you got anything else you'd like to tell us, Fidjit, about what you've been watching or listening to?
No, I've been listening to the same stuff I've listened to my whole life.
What about how's your own music coming?
I don't know. I feel like I keep talking about it and then I never show anyone anything, so I feel like I should just shut up about it. Because I keep being like, oh, I do this and I do this or whatever, and then nothing ever, like I show nothing. So I'm like, what can I say?
Well, at least as long as you enjoy it, that's all that really matters.
I do. I want to show. I'm just hesitant to show.
That's fair. Entirely fair.
It's not right yet.
Well, you don't have to explain. Andy's the exact same. Andy is the master of not rushing through things.
Yeah.
He's been sitting on some tunes for 12 years that are going to get touched up and sent out to the public real soon.
Stuff that was forgotten about, mate. It's not that it was sat on or that. It's just that it literally got forgotten about with the pace of everything else that took off along with what's been happening over those years. So stuff gets left behind. It does. Fidjit, I'm sure you know that as well. Yeah. Drawings and all sorts of things you do. Stuff gets left behind because the best thing you're working on is the next thing that you're working on. That's always been the case for me. So.
Nice. Well, what have you been watching and listening to, Andy? Because we're sitting at 57, so I don't want you to have to wait ages for the video to render. No, you're okay. Just a couple of things. I watched a documentary called The Man Who Should Not Be King. It's about Prince Charles. So it's a documentary revealing how basically he's unfit to be king. It looks at his role as the Duke of Cornwall, and that Duchy of Cornwall, and how they treat the tenants there on the island of Scilly, and how he uses his power and influence to lobby government and other public bodies. So it was something I was looking forward to. It's a group that I follow on Twitter called Republic. I was looking forward to the documentary, but I felt a little bit sort of underwhelmed by it. It's good, but I'm only going to give that a 5 out of 10. Music-wise, do you know what? I've been listening to some old Kanye West today. Ooh.
Go back and listen to Flashing Lights and tell me that's not a banger.
See, up until that album, what was that? My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, was that the one?
I think so, yeah.
I absolutely loved this stuff up to there, and then he just went and just.
It was after that album because that had Power on it. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. After that, it got a little. I like some of the stuff after it, but it got a little.
Was that
weird.
Heartbreaking 808s or whatever was after that, wasn't it?
The weird sort of synthy album.
Was that not after? That was before. See, there you go. But go back and listen to Flashing Lights and tell me it's not a banger, and tell me you don't think about driving about in GTA 4 with that playing on the car stereo. Never mind the perfume ads. A couple of things. Little Evil, Scottish rapper, a guy that I'm doing some work with, guy I rate very highly, did a track called How to Rob England. So, I mean, he's got fantastic wordplay, fantastic multi-syllable rhyme schemes. I mean, he really is, in my eyes, probably the best MC in Scotland at the moment. So he's obviously making a lot of name drops to English rappers, that kind of thing. It's not necessarily a provocative piece, although it could be perceived like that. It's not. It's just said tongue-in-cheek in jest. But the track itself, How to Rob England, Little Evil, going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Thought it was really good. A couple other things to finish up. I'm going to go back to the beat tape of beat tapes, the holy mecca of beat tapes, Pete Rock, Pete Instrumentals. I've been listening to that this week. That's a 9 out of 10. I think that is probably one of the best, if not the highest standard of hip-hop instrumental beat tape you can have if you're looking for that boom bap, that New York kind of sound. So I've been listening to a bit of that this week. And just to finish off, just touching on the Call of Duty I've been talking about earlier on, I've been playing a lot of that the last few weeks. I've been watching a guy on YouTube called Iceman Isaac who does COD tutorials. So his tutorials are for more, I wouldn't say like advanced players, but they're not like beginner tutorials, but just something I've been using just to give me a different perspective, because I'm not a huge Battle Royale player, but obviously I want to play better. I used to be a big COD player. So his tutorials are really good. His graphics, the way it's all put together, his explanations. He's a seriously good player. So the stuff that he's telling you is pretty legit. The videos are all well done. So I'm going to say if you're looking to improve on your COD Warzone gameplay, check out Iceman Isaac.
Look at Mike writing that
tutorials.
Down.
I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Because, his tutorials are really, really good. And it's just nice to get a bit of fresh perspective if you're chasing those dubs and trying to get those kills and that. So that's me for the week.
What was it you called it? A swagnum?
The swagnums, the dual swagnums. Fucking honestly, in the ghoulie, mate. Didn't touch me them swagnums.
You know what? I took the advice, Andy, and I started playing on the outskirts a bit and working my way in as the gas comes in, and it helps a lot. It helps a lot.
Yeah, you do like a spiral wheel. What you do is you just rotate around the gas. Everybody goes, oh, there's the center of the circle, run straight to it. You don't do that. Just rotate around the outside of the gas, and then you pick up everybody coming in. High kill games, more likely to get the dubs.
Fidjit, I just want to reassure you that I don't have a fucking clue what he's on about either. I could just see this. It's like a sheer confusion on your face. Right, Mikey Dots, what you got to take us home?
Last week I watched the show Quiz. It was about the guy who cheated. Millionaire. Did anyone watch this?
No, but I've been meaning to. The
pace on this show was unbelievable. It was so good. It reminded me, just the pace, the subject matter not so much, but the pace of it reminded me of The Social Network. How it was kind of long, but it was like the wordplay and the things that were going on in the actual show or the movie in the Facebook movie one. It just got you through to the next scene so quickly, and I knew that had happened, but I didn't really know the ins and outs of it. And it was just really, really good. And when they got to the courtroom scene, spoiler alert, but when they got to the courtroom scene and they had their lawyer, the people who cheated, they had their lawyer there, she was making a lot of good points. And I was like, oh shit, maybe they didn't cheat, So it's definitely worth a watch. I give that a 9. It was really, really good.
Nice.
I also, last night, the Sewing Bee started. Anyone watch the Sewing Bee? You know what? I didn't think I was going to be into it either, but then Connie had it on, and that was another one of those things where I'm like, I'm not watching this, and I'm like, are they really going to use that thread on that shirt? Are you scared?
Mike, can I say something, right? And I'm saying this to you as your friend, right? I love you dearly, man. But you're the whitest guy on this podcast.
What?
You're the whitest guy.
Don't say that. I hate when people say that. Don't say that.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, I don't understand what's wrong with sewing stuff. It's not like I'm going out and I'm watching it. I'm just watching it. It's the competition I like.
Mike, I give it 3 weeks before you're crocheting a wee sock Just a wee
Nah.
spare.
I don't have the skills for that.
Mike,
Yeah.
it's cool, man. Mike, it's cool. I've been baking and making biscuits and scones and shit like that this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's nothing
right,
wrong
I
with that
watched-
shit, man.
I watched that also last week. It was because they're having the celebrity ones on the Bake Off, and they had Russell Brand. Yeah, Russell Brand on there. I hated him until I watched that. He was hilarious on that show, and I will now give him another chance. Not like he gives a shit about Mike Dotts in Scotland giving him another.
He
but
should though, Mike. He should.
He absolutely should.
And he will.
You know what annoys me about Russell Brand is that he comes across as really clever because he says a lot of big words, but he doesn't actually say anything.
He says nothing. I can't stand him. He's so annoying.
He bamboozles people with big flashy words and the hand movement and the hair.
No,
But then
really.
he says nothing. It's like being on a conference call with 12 consultants. People are saying a lot of big words, but no one's actually fucking doing anything.
Paid for consultants. And also the Last Dance, of course, on Netflix.
Oh, I forgot about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan, I'm talking about American sports. Is this big and black enough? So I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, and I heard about this documentary, and it's supposed to show another side of him. Everyone thinks of Michael Jordan as the Gatorade drinking and the Hanes wearing, the Nike selling, and this just shows him as basically just being a dick.
Oh, he was a cold motherfucker. Like,
yes, but that's what people expect about him, though. And it's the first 2 episodes were on Sunday night, and it just to already like people who have seen the whole 10 parts of it have said like the first 2 parts are pretty tame, and if that is tame compared to what's about to come up, like I cannot wait for the next 8 episodes.
See, you're a big fan of him, and I think I'm as big a fan as someone who has never watched that much basketball can be a Michael Jordan. So it was really cool to actually see some clips that maybe aren't as prevalent as the normal ones you see. You know, you always see like the game where he dropped 60 or where, like the iconic pose. You know what I mean? But to see his game-to-game performance and how consistent he was from literally when he came in as was he the third choice pick?
Yeah.
Like, and then he literally instantly became the best player on the team, which I think is rare to see from a rookie. You know what I mean? But like, it was bananas. I'm literally counting the minutes till Sunday so I can watch more.
And it was interesting. The one thing that stuck out, I think it was in the first episode when he got drafted, and he saw how shitty the team was, and he's like, I don't have a voice. He's like, I'm this 20-something-year-old kid. I don't have a voice on this team, but I want to be the leader. So he's like, I'm gonna let my actions on the court show them that I am the leader of this team. And he's like, I'm gonna go after. He's like, not in a bad way, but I'm going after the guy who they think is the captain, and I'm gonna show them that no, they should be looking up to me and they should be following me. So that's something that should have been my word with Dots, actually.
Still, although as well, just in other news, Space Jam is now on Netflix as well. So I'm just
it also made me
excited.
When all of the people, like some of the people back in the States that I know who have kids, when they were watching that with their parents, and they were like, "Is that the guy that was in the Bugs Bunny movie?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" Oh.
It's like when people call Will Smith Jaden's dad.
No one calls him Jaden.
Here's another one. I was on Twitter today, and do you remember "Fat Lip" by Sum 41?
Yes.
You know, their first song. That's 19 years old.
Jesus. That's sad.
That's terrifying. It's terrifying.
How old are you again?
I'm 31 in August.
31.
Because you're 30 in 2 weeks, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's all right.
I thought you were older.
Thanks. That's fair, yeah. Right, cool. Well, on that note,
hang on though, Mike, I'm disappointed because I forgot to mention it. Did you not listen to the new West Side Gun album, Pray for Paris, this week?
Is on my. I've downloaded it, but I haven't listened to it yet. No, I heard it's good.
Yeah, I've had a couple of skips through, but I'm going to need the week to sit on it before I can give my final score. So we'll discuss that next week, mate.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There you go. Will we wait till the final episode of Last Dance before we review it, Mike?
It's Michael Jordan, so it's going to get a 10 from me.
It's going to get a 10. Yeah.
No.
Thing is, do you not think though that sports documentaries? I don't know if you watch many sports documentaries, Fidjit, but they are so misleading because they are edited to make it look like every game is the best game in the world.
Yeah. It's like
Did you
Rocky.
ever-
Like,
Yeah,
right, no, like-
did you ever watch The Contender years ago? It was like a boxing reality show,
oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
and then every week two of the fighters would fight each other, and I didn't even think all the fights had been edited, so they all looked like absolute bangers. And then me and my mates stayed up for the live final at 3 a.m, and it was a really shite boxing match, and we were instantly like, that's pish, that's utter pish. But I always take a sports documentary over it anyway. So are we all wrapped up for the week? Any other
Yes, sir.
business?
No, but maybe because we didn't get to do in Bra and Gnaw this week, and there were a couple on the post.
Yeah.
We will, two of us at some point maybe, or maybe we'll split it. Or two of us and then another two of us do it later in the week. Do the Bra and Gnaws. How about that?
Yeah,
On Instagram.
definitely. Right, Fidjit, thank you for taking time out of your lockdown to spend with us
Me?
and listen to our shite. Hopefully we'll get you on a little bit sooner than a year after last time. Saying that, I couldn't believe it had been a fucking year.
Is that a year?
Yeah, it was literally last April. I think it was like a week ago.
In the cabin.
Crazy year.
I don't know. But anyway, so would you like to give out your social media details? I'd imagine anyone who watches this will have them, but...
Just Instagram at Fidjit, Fidjit. That's all I've got.
Fantastic. Keep an eye out for Flash Days and your merch. I found my Drowning Girl top. It'd been in a different drawer for 2 months and I didn't know. And I've now found it, so I was really happy. It's a long sleeve black t-shirt and it's 20 degrees outside, so I can't wear it.
Yeah, it's because of the lockdown, everything's been so postponed as well. So the pre-orders that people ordered at the beginning of lockdown for jumpers have just arrived for me to post out to people. But now it's it's not really a jumper weather anymore. But
Excellent. Well, again, thank you very much for coming on. It's always a pleasure. We'll maybe try and get you on again after you've stuck your daggers into my chest in August.
yeah,
We can discuss how much I screamed like a little girl.
film some of it.
Yes, definitely, we will. I'll see if I can do it. I can see if I can manage a live interview while you're tattooing me.
Absolutely.
Excellent. You can follow us on Facebook, Podbean, and actually, no, not Podbean, iTunes just now. We're exclusively, for lockdown, a YouTube podcast until we can figure out something different. So please subscribe on YouTube, leave a review, follow us on Facebook, share the link. Listen to the old episodes on Podbean and iTunes, and you can find me on Twitter at Wagwan Patrice.
I'm also on Twitter at _mdots.
And I'm still there at Macapella.
Right, so I'm going to hang up the call or I just stop recording? I'll stop recording.
Just stop
Thank you
recording.
very much for listening. Peace.